Good evening, students. Welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Python video lesson number 8. Number 9. In previous lesson, that is Python video lesson number 8, we studied about for loop and then print statement with separator as well as end. So now in this lesson, we are going to study about nested loop. Already we studied two loop statements, while as well as for while. Nested loop means one loop statement may contain another loop statement. In other words, one loop statement lies within another loop statement. It may be for contains another for, while contain another while. Similarly, for contains while contains for. Four cases are there. First, we will see one example, then we can explain it. I need output should be like this. I need the output should be like this. See here, in first line, I need number 1. Second line, 1, 2. Third line, 1, 2, 3. Fourth line, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here just we can have two loop statements. Consider outer loop, inner loop. Outer loop should execute for 5 number of times, each one for each row. First row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. So outer loop should execute for 5 number of times. Inner loop, first time it should execute only 1. Second time it should execute 2 times. Third time it should execute 3 times. Similarly, fourth times it should execute 4 times. In other words, we can call it as we are having counter variable. Either it may be a for loop or while loop. We are having one variable. Outer loop contains one variable. Inner loop also contains one variable. Inner loop variable should start with 1 to outer loop variable. Whenever the outer loop variable is 1, inner loop should start with inner loop variable should start with number 1 to 1. When the outer loop contains number 2, that it refers to second iteration. The inner loop variable should start from 1 to 2. Similarly, if the outer loop variable contains number 3, that is third iterative, the inner loop variable should start from 1 to 3. So I like the procedure. We can explain with the for loop itself. For in 1 to assume 1 to 6. 6 means 1 to 5. For j in again 1 to I. Here print. No need to worry about the syntax. It is a simple procedure. Print j. That's all very simple. See, this for j in 1 to I is a inner loop. For I in 1 to 6 is a outer loop. So first time I will condense number 1. J contains number 1. So print 1. I also number 1. So 1 to 1, that's all. So you are getting only number 1. Next time I contains number 2. J should execute, should assign first with number 1. Then I is 2 now. J is assigned with 2. So print will be executed for 2 times, 1 and 2. Then I will be assigned with number 3. Now j will be assigned first 1, then number 2, then number 3. Similarly, we will get 1 by 1. First line we will getting number 1, second time we are getting number 2, number 3, like this. This is with the help of for loop, nested for loop. Okay. Similarly, we can have while loop, nested while. Same thing. We should have first while I equal to 1, while I is less than or equal to 5. Here we can have 5 itself. While writing program, we can change it as a 6. Okay, here again j equal to 1, while j is less than or equal to I. Then print j. Then j should be incremented by 1. Here I should be incremented by 1. At last we have one print. This print is used to come to next line. Here also we can have it. Okay. Here assume I equal to 1. First I will be 1. 1 is less than or equal to 5. That is condition true. This whole thing should be executed. Here j will be assigned with 1. Now j is 1. j1 is less than or equal to 1. Now I is 1, j is 1. Both are 1. 1 is less than or equal to 1. Condition true. Then j will be printed. I will be printed here. Assume. Here j will be incremented by 1. Initially j is 1. Now it becomes 2. Now 2 is less than or equal to 1. Condition false. It comes out of the loop. That is out of the inner loop, not outer loop. Inner loop. It will come here. Now already I is 1. Now I becomes 2. Then it goes here. Okay. Now 2 is less than or equal to 5. Still condition true. Already one printout is there. It will come here. Okay. Now I is 2. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Still condition true. Once again, this from statement, this statement to this statement should be executed. Now j will be assigned with 1. Now j is 1, I is 2. 1 is less than or equal to, still condition true. Again print j. Here j will be printed. Then j becomes j plus 1 equal to 1. That means j incremented by 1, j contains 2. Then it goes here. J is 2. Now still I is 2. 2 is less than or equal to 2, still condition true. Once again j will be printed, 2 will be printed. Now j plus 1 equal to 1. Now j becomes 3. It comes here. 3 is less than or equal to 2. Condition false. It comes out of the loop, out of the inner loop. Then here I is there. I plus equal to 1. Already initially I is 2. Now I becomes 3. It comes here. So now I is 3 is less than or equal to 5. It is third iteration. Likely we can get third time 1, 2, 3. Similarly, we can get fourth iterative of the outer loop. Inner loop execute for 4 times. Similarly, in fifth iterative of the outer loop, inner loop will execute for 5 times. Likewise, we can get output like this. Okay. So similarly, instead of using nested while, nested, this is nested for. This is nested while. We can have inside while, outside for. Similarly, outside while, inside for also possible. So now I will explain you how to create one program which displays the output like this. Then you can clearly understand. So now we can have while outside while contains for. Outer loop should be while, inner loop should be for. So I equal to 1 while I is less than or equal to 6. Here for j in range of 1 comma 1 comma I. That means 1 comma I means it will be 0 1 to 5. I is contained 6. 6 minus 1 5. No need to worry about step. It is assumed as it is 1. If step is not mentioned here, by default step will be 1. The inner loop will execute for 5 times. It should start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here assume 6 is I is 6. So 6 minus 1, 5. Now I like to print I. After I need some space. Okay, then n should be assigned to slash t. So slash t stands for horizontal space. After we need one next line. It should be slash n. Then I should be incremental. That's all very simple. I'll explain you. First we will see the output, then I will explain you how it's works. Here, one to some problem occurs. We will see why it's coming error. First one comes. Instead of I, it should be j. So we like to print j, not I. See here 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is the output. It should be j, not I. So I is assigned with number 1. Outer loop is while, inner loop is for. This is nested loop. First, I will be assigned with 1. 1 is less than or equal to 6. The condition is true. So from this statement to statement, this whole thing comes under the block of statement for while. Instead of having statement, here we are having one more loop, that is for loop. For j in range of 1 to I. Now I is 1. So 1 to 1. I minus 1. So it is becomes 0. 1 to 0. First time it will not execute. Okay. Very first time it will not execute. That is why we are having one blank space here. See here, blank space here. I is 1. This condition is true. But range for j inner loop will not execute for even once. Why? Its start is 1. End is I is 1. 1 minus 1. It becomes 0. 1 to 0. So if you don't execute for the first time, it comes out of the inner loop. Here print end is slash n. It goes to next end. So next end comes here. Again I plus equal to 1. Now I incremented by 1. Now I becomes 2. Again goes here. 2 is less than or equal to 6. Still condition true. Again this block of statement should be executed. For j in range of 1 comma 2 minus 1. Okay, now I is 2. Stop should range of the stop value for range should be stop minus 1. Now here I is 2, 2 minus 1. So start is 1, end is 1. So we will get only 1. Number 1 in our space. So 1 printout. Then it comes out of the loop. Here end is there. It goes to third line. Third line, this is third line. Again it goes here. I plus equal to 1. Already I is 2. Now I becomes 3. 3 is less than or equal to 6. Still condition true. J in the range of 1 comma. Now I is 3. 3 minus 1, 2. That means 1 comma 2. The I will be, J will be first assigned with 1. then j will be assigned with 2. Now we are in 2, 1, 2, 3. Likewise, inner loop rotates for I minus 1 times. Outer loop rotates for 6 times. That is why we got output like this: 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is the usage of nested loop. Instead of having while contains for, we can write for contains for contains while contains while, likewise. Anywhere type we can do C. So this is the usage of nested loop. Then we will study about jump statement. In conditional structure or conditional statement, there are 3 categories are there. One is alternative or selective or branching. That already finished out. Simple if as well as if else, and then if else. Next category is iterative statements or repetitive statements. That also finished. 2 statements are there. One is for, another one is while. Third category is jump statement. Now we'll study about the jump statement. It contains 3 statements. One is break. Second one is continue. Third is pause. First break. It transfers. Already jump statement means transfer the control from one part to another unconditionally. So jump statement means whenever jump statement encounter, it transfers the control from one part of the program to another part of the program unconditionally. Here transfers control out of loop immediately whenever the break statement encounter, it transfers the control out of the loop. No need to worry about the condition, no need to worry about the start, stop value, step value, but nothing to do. So whenever the break statement encounter inside the loop, immediately the loop will be terminated. Even though the condition is true, even though there is some values, it returns, range returns some values, no need to worry. Whereas in continue, it skips remaining part of the remaining codes in this iteration. And continues for next iteration. Assume one loop. It may be a while loop or for loop. Normally, it will execute for 10 number of times. So in 5th iteration, the continue encounter. Then immediately the remaining statement available in the loop for this particular iteration, that is 5th iteration, will be skipped. Then it calculated for 6th iteration, 7th iteration, 8th iteration, 9th iteration. Whereas break encounters in the 5th iteration, no more loop statement. It will be terminated immediately. It goes out of the loop. Whereas in continue, the continue encountered in the 5th iteration, remaining part of this code will be skipped and proceed for the next iteration, that is 6th iteration. Then 6th iteration will start as usual, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a pause is a placeholder. Pause statement is called as a placeholder. It is normally ignored by. It is a placeholder. It is ignored by Python interpreter. So pause statement is a placeholder. It is used as a placeholder. It is ignored by interpreter. Consider the situation. We have to contain one block or one function. which is needs to be right in future, not now, then that block of statement or function should be kept as empty. That means we need one empty block. We need one empty block or one empty function. Python interpreter does not allow empty block or empty function. You should have some statement. But our need is we need one block or one function which should be right coding. Coding should be right in future, not in you, not now. Python does not allow empty block or empty function, that is without statement. It gives error. In this case, instead of having empty block of statement, we can place one command that is called as a pause. It is a placeholder. It is simply ignored by interpreter. It does not show any error. So it is ignored by interpreter. When we have a block or loop and function which is to be developed in future, not now. Python interpreter does not allow such a empty block, loop or function. It gives error. So in order to avoid function, so you can use pause statement. Pause statement is a placeholder. It is ignored by interpreter when you have a block, loop, function which is to be developed in future, not now. Python interpreter does not allow such a empty block, loop or function. It gives error. So we can use pause statement. So now I will explain how break, continue, pause works in one loop with the help of Python program. I like to display simple character success. So we know very well, we have to display one str1. I am assigning one variable that is str1. That is one string. So we can use one for loop for chin str1. So here print ch. That's all very simple. So here str1 is assigned with success. For ch in str1, print ch. First time ch will be assigned with yes, and then yes will be displayed. Next time it will be assigned with u. Third time it will be assigned with c. Fourth time it will be assigned with again c. Then ess. We will have some space here. Slash t. Okay. First we will see the output. See the output, yes, U, C, C, E, S, everything comes. I like to put here one if statement. if CH equal to E, that means if CH contains E, this statement will be executed. Otherwise, this statement will be executed. That's very simple. I like to put only break here. Assume what will happen. str1 contains success. For CH in str1, str means success. First, CH will be assigned with yes. Here CH is yes. S equal to E. This condition false. Break will not encounter. Print CH. Yes will be displayed. No problem. Again, CH will be assigned with U. Now CH contains U. U W equal to G. Again, condition false. Break will not encounter. U will be displayed. Simply C will be assigned here. No problem. Again, C will be assigned here. No problem. Fifth time, E will be assigned here. Now CH contains E. E equal to E, the condition becomes true. In this case, break will be executed. If the break is encountered, already we studied, break transfer the control out of the loop. Transfer the counter out of the loop immediately. Then the program will be stopped out. The loop will be immediately terminated. No more execution. Still, there are two characters are there. Yes, yes. Still, no need to worry about them. Immediately, the loop will be terminated. The control transfer out of the loop. You will get only output up to E only. SUCC, that's all. Okay, E also will not be displayed. See here, SUCC. Previously we got full success. Now SU. Yes, okay, no problem. Print will be extended. U will be displayed. C will be displayed. Again, C will be displayed. Whenever CH contains E, E equal to E, condition true, then break will be encountered. Then immediately it terminated the loop. That means break transfer the control out of the loop. Okay, immediately. This is the usage of break. Now we will see the usage of continue. Instead of break, I change it as a continue. Already we studied break terminates the loop immediately. Otherwise, you can call it as break transfer the control out of the loop immediately. Whereas continue skip the remaining part of the block of code in particular iteration. It proceed for next iteration. Okay, this is the remaining part. This is the remaining part of the block after continue. Now assume first CH contains yes. Yes equal to E, condition false. Continue will not encounter. CH contains yes, yes will be displayed, no problem. Then U, condition false, U will be displayed. CC, everything will be displayed. So SU, CC will be displayed as it is, no problem. So whenever CH is assigned with E, this condition becomes true. E equal to G. Then continue will be executed. Now the continue should skip the statement, remaining part of the block. This is the remaining part of the block. This statement will be skipped out for the fifth iteration only. For the fifth iteration only, and then proceed for next iteration. That means without executing this statement, continue place the cursor here. Now CH assigned with yes. S equal to E, condition false. Continue will not execute. Here yes will be displayed. Again yes will be displayed. So you will get output as SUCC. E will not display. Then yes, yes. We will see the output here. SUCC, E not displayed. Yes, yes. So E equal to E. Continue. Continue skip the statement. Continue skip the remaining part of the block and proceed for the next iteration. Next iteration means CH will be assigned with yes. The condition false, continue will not encounter. Process. That is why we got SUCCES. Once again, I like to inform you, break terminates the loop immediately. It goes out of the loop. Whereas continue skip or ignore the remaining part of the block and proceed for the next iteration. That is the usage of break and continue. Now we will see one example for pause statement. So our aim is we have to find out numbers, non-zero numbers. Our aim is we have to get one number. We have to find out it is non-zero, other than zero. We don't want zero other than zero. So I like to get one number here equal to int. Input, enter any non-zero. Enter any number. Then here I like to if j equal to 0. It should be kept blank. Okay. Else. Here print non-zero. Non-zero value is accepted. Very simple program. Here int input enter any number. Assume first I am giving -1. Okay, a is assigned with -1. -1 double equal to 0. This is condition false. You will get non-zero value is accepted. Okay. What will happen if I am giving 0? So a is assigned with 0. 0 equal to 0. Condition true. There is no block of statement. There is no block of statement for if. Okay. The interpreter will not allow this empty block. So Python interpreter does not allow empty block or empty function or empty loop. This is block, empty block. It won't allow. It gives error. So enter any number. Here I'm giving +1. A is assigned with number 1. 1 equal to 0. Condition false. You will get non-zero accepted. Okay. I'll explain you just a minute. It gives some error. This program will not work. Python interpreter gives runtime error. It gives expected and intended block. Why it gives error? The problem is we should have here some statement, but we don't want to write any statements here. Then what we can do? Simply put pause. That's all. So now we don't want to write any statement in this block. In future, we may plan to write some coding here. Until then, it will be pause will be there. So this pause will be ignored by interpreter. Now it will not show any error. So enter any number. First I'm giving -10. Okay. So in this case, -10 double equal to 0, condition false. This else block will be executed. Here non-zero value is accepted. Now we can give 0. Here 0 equal to 0, condition is true. There is one statement is it not show any error. Pass. That means interpreter simply skip it or ignore it. So we don't have any output here. Previously it shows error. Now I am giving +10. See here, +10 equal to 0. Again condition false. Else block will be executed. Non-zero value is accepted. Okay. This is the usage of pause statements. Today I stopped here itself. In this lesson, we studied about nested loop. Nested loop is nothing but here one loop contains another loop. Otherwise, we can call it as one loop lies inside another loop. Then we studied about jump statement. Jump statement transfer the control from one part of the program to another part of the program unconditionally. There are 3 statements are there. One is break. Second one, continue. Third is pause. Break terminates the loop immediately, or we can call it as break transfer the control immediately out of the loop. Continue skip the remaining part of the block for the particular iteration only and proceed for the next iteration. Pause is very simple. It is a placeholder. Interpreter simply ignore it. In future, you want to write one statement or one block of statement. Now it should be kept as a empty block. The problem is Python interpreter does not allow empty block or empty loop or empty function. It gives compiler error if the program contains empty block. In order to avoid this problem, we can use pause statement. Okay, that is the difference between break, continue, and then pause. Today I stopped here itself. I hope all of you enjoyed this lesson. In coming lesson, we will study little bit more. Until then, thank you students. Bye bye.